Okay. Last question, Doc. Are we from Africa?
Not all of us. Remember, I said something at when I did the hidden colors. I did hidden colors, and this became a meme that I saw. Uh, the deeper the European digs for evidence of his history and his past, the blacker the planet gets. Which means, and I meant by that is that we are all over this plane of existence. We have been here in these Americas thousands upon thousands of years before him. In fact, the Smithsonian has designated that the so called Olmecs are the original high civilization of this particular hemisphere. So, what does that say? Who are the so called Olmecs? We know them as the Taman Khan. Some of them call them the Z people, or the peoples of from the empire of the Mali. Okay, no, we didn't all come from Africa. In fact, most of the people who were brought from Africa actually were dropped off in the United in the so-called West Indies. The people who were enslaved here were the indigenous peoples. The people you see that they're calling the indigenous cut a deal with the white man, the one that looks like they're Asian. That's not the original. That's not the indigenous people of this particular hemisphere.
Mm.
That's the Mongol who came across the bridge, the Bering Strait Bridge, down through Canada, or what is now Canada, because Canada and the so-called United States is all North America. That line that you see between Canada and the United States, that didn't exist until the white man. We roamed this entire continent, this entire part here. So this person that they call the indigenous people that you saw with dances with wolves and all that. In fact, if you saw my last webinar, which was probably in the last webinar, in the last webinar, I showed you that the current head of the Chinese military talked about the fact that they are the superior race, that the Germans call themselves the superior race, and he said, no, we are the superior race because we're older. We're 5,000 years old. He says, we've been all over this planet, this world. And he says, we've migrated to all four corners of the world, even into the Americas, where we became the American Indian. Now, if that don't give you a clue to the fact that he is not, they are not, these people that they're pushing up as the so-called Native American, they're not the Native American. There were huge citadels, cities here. There's even a Supreme Court from 1712, long before the so-called 13 colonies were built up, which were the first black colonies that were trying to break away from the black nobility in England. There's so much going on in the twistery in what I call the American education system. You're not being taught our story. Our story is my story. You put my and story together, you get mystery. So our story is the mystery that they hide. That's what they're burning in the Vatican. So understand that there's enough information that's coming out, enough in the archives that I'm being given every day, being leaked out to me to be able to speak certain things.